If you keep starting over, it's not because you lack discipline. It's because no one ever taught you how to feel safe following through. If what I just said hit you a little in the chest, stay with me, because I want to show you why every fresh start ends the same way, why willpower has never been your problem. And I want to teach you the one shift that changes everything. And here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to tell you to try harder. I'm not going to tell you to want it more. I'm not going to tell you to fix your mindset. This isn't about motivation. It's about something much deeper. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. I have a lot of people that come to me and they have issues with what they believe is a motivation problem. They might have trouble with their weight. They might have trouble completing something. They might be having trouble setting up their business. They might be having trouble moving into that transition of retirement. And you know that feeling. You know what you should be doing. You've read all the books. You've bought the courses. You've made the plans. And yet you keep starting over. And you tell yourself, this time will be different. You feel that spark, that clarity, that sense of possibility. And then a few days or maybe a few weeks later, you quietly stop. Not because you don't care, not because you're lazy, but because something in you pulls the handbrake the moment consistency is required. And what makes this even harder is that you blame yourself for it. You think, everyone else can do this. What's wrong with me? But here's the truth that most people never hear. There is nothing wrong with you. What's actually happening is much more subtle. Because once you understand it, everything changes. Because the real reason you keep starting over isn't about discipline. It's about safety. And in a moment, I'm going to explain to you exactly what I mean about when I say that. But first, let me tell you what we're about to talk about. By the end of this, you're going to understand why your nervous system is designed to stop you from following through. I want you to understand the hidden pattern that keeps you stuck in the restart cycle and the one practice that rebuilds trust with yourself so that consistency becomes natural and not forced. I know that might sound big, but stick with me. And also I want to encourage you to go to a free tool that I have that helps you to figure out exactly where you are right now, emotionally, mentally, energetically. It's called the Happiness Quiz, and it's designed to show you what's really getting in the way of your consistency. Not some generic checklist, your specific blocks, your patterns, your starting points. Because here's what I've learned after years of working with people who can't stick to anything. You don't need more discipline. You need more clarity. And that's what the quiz gives you. All right? And also for you to know that I have a lot of people that come to me with weight problems. And I bring them down to Costa Rica and I have a day-long session where we look at what the issues are and I send them off with a personalized program. I have unbelievable success with these because the thing is that most people think that consistency is about discipline. But here's the problem with that. Discipline assumes you're starting from neutral. That all you need is strong enough reason and a clear enough plan. But if your nervous system associates repetition with pressure, or with failure, or with judgment, or with disappointment, your body won't let you stay consistent. Not because you're weak, but because it's trying to protect you. So let me say that again. Stopping isn't self-sabotage. It's self-protection. So your nervous system learned somewhere along the way that following through leads to pain. Maybe it was a parent who pushed you too hard, or a goal that you couldn't meet, or a time you let someone down, or just years of setting expectations that you couldn't sustain. So now when you try to be consistent, your system says, no, not safe, pull back. And you do. Not consciously, but automatically. And this is why willpower doesn't work. You're not fighting laziness. You're fighting a protective response that thinks it's keeping you safe. And once you see this, the whole game changes. So let me walk you through what this actually looks like. You get excited about something, a new habit, a project, a goal, and you feel that spark. You make a plan, you start strong, and then life happens. You miss a day or two, or you do it, but it doesn't feel like you thought it would. And then suddenly the thing that felt exciting starts to feel heavy. So you tell yourself, I'll start fresh on Monday, and maybe you do. But now there's a little more pressure, a little more proof that you can't follow through. So you stop again, and the cycle repeats. And each time the voice gets louder, see, you always do this. You never change, right? It's interesting, I just got a message today from one of my students who came down here to Costa Rica, had a big weight problem, and she was really struggling with it. And we sat her down and we looked at what was going on. And she told me the exact thing that I'm talking about here. She said, what I used to do is before the day had fully even started, I would have eaten things that weren't good for me. And then I would think, well, I may as well just keep eating it. I've already blown it today. I'm going to start tomorrow. And she said, tomorrow never came. And what you have to understand when you look at this is you're not failing at consistency. You're succeeding at self-protection. So your system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is no one ever taught you how to feel safe while following through. And that's what we're going to fix. Okay, and this is really important. So let's talk about what actually works. If consistency is about safety, not discipline, then the goal isn't to do more. It's to rebuild trust. And you can do that with what I call the one safe daily promise. So here's how it works. You choose one small thing you do at the same time every day. Not to be productive, not to hit a goal, but to teach your nervous system, I show up for myself and it's safe when I do. So what's some examples? 1 minute of stillness in the morning, or 1 page of journaling before you go to bed, or 1 intentional breath before you check your phone, or 1 small short walk at lunchtime. So the key's this: it has to feel easy, because if it feels hard, your system is going to resist. But if it feels safe, you'll do it. And every time you do it, your brain updates the story it tells about you. Not all at once, but quietly. And one day you realize you're not asking, why can't I stick to anything? You're thinking, of course I follow through. That's just who I am. And that's the identity shift. It doesn't come from doing more. It comes from keeping one small, safe promise over and over again. Now you might be thinking, but I want to do more than one small thing. I have big goals. I get it, but here's the truth. You can't build consistency on top of distrust. So if your nervous system doesn't trust you to follow through, it will sabotage everything else. So you have to start small. Not forever, but just long enough to prove to yourself, I'm someone who keeps promises to myself. Once that identity's locked in, everything else gets easier. You can add more. You can scale up. You can go after bigger goals. And it all starts with this one small, safe promise. And that's why most people fail. They skip the step. They go straight to the big goal, and their system panics. So don't skip this step. Start small. Build trust. Then build everything else. So I want you to understand something really important. If you've spent years thinking something's wrong with you, if you've blamed yourself for not having enough willpower or discipline or drive, I want you to hear this. There's nothing wrong with you. There never was. Your system's just trying to protect you. And now you understand that, you get to choose a different path. Not by forcing yourself, but by feeling safe. Not by doing more, but by keeping one small problem. And when you do that, day after day, in the smallest, quietest way, something shifts. You stop starting over. You stop wondering if you can follow through. And you start living like someone who already does. That's the shift. And it's available to you right now. So here's what I want you to do next. Take the happiness quiz, the link's in the description. I'll show you exactly where you are and what your next step should be. Choose your one safe daily promise. Something small, something that feels easy, something you can do at the same time every day. Do it for 7 days. Just 7, and watch what happens. Not to your productivity, but to your identity, because that's where everything changes. So I hope this has been helpful. And if you know someone who keeps starting over, send this to them. They might need to hear it. I look forward to being with you again shortly. As always, be kind, take care, go gently in the world.